Okay, so it is 10 a.m. Welcome, welcome all Facebook folk, East Coast, West Coast, everywhere in between. Um, my name is Stephanie. I teach yoga, I teach Pilates, I do a little bit of boot campy stuff too, but today we're going to be doing Fusion Flow, which is just a blend of yoga and Pilates. The way I teach is that I start really slow, always stay slow rather. So I'm really easy to follow. I focus a lot on alignment of the body. So just to being aware of the placement of certain areas where they should be, and just becoming aware of your own body and how it works. A lot of the moves are really isolated, very small, very controlled, which comes a lot more from the Pilates practice, those kind of ideals of. So a lot of the times in my class, it'll be more important what's not moving in your body versus what is moving in your body. So although we'll be working with small movements and slow movements, you're actually going to be forcing your body to work harder to control and really stabilize everything in your body. It will be core focused. So core isn't necessarily just, the six-pack abs. It's really, really focusing on strengthening the deep-rooted muscles in your body that help with support, right? Support of spine, stabilization of the body, which can help with balance, with posture, and really to help move the other parts of our bodies, right? Our extremities, arms, and legs. Breathing also will be essential in this class. Breath is about 50% of the work. So it's really important when you breathe, how you breathe, why you breathe. And we'll go over all that. Lastly, I also really love to stretch a lot. So at the beginning of class, we will go ahead and really focus on warming up our body before we get into the actual work itself. Let me just check really quickly some of these. All right, everyone can see me. Hi, hi, hi. Erica, Heidi, Donna, you're here. Jamie, miss you, girl. Glad you could pop on. Okay, so we are going to get started. And I have a little towel set up behind me here. So I'm going to angle down for a moment because we're going to be on our back to start class. And then we will get into some standing postures. So pardon me while I adjust all that. So we're going to start here on our back, on our mat. And I want you to start with your knees bent, feet grounded on the floor. And when you do that, really think about aligning your knees and feet with your hip bones in the front body. So it's only about 2 fist distances away from one another. Okay, and I'll demonstrate it here as well. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. So lying on your back, knees bent, feet grounded. Have your arms along your sides, palms faced up to really allow your shoulders to roll open, right? So even lightly pressing the backs of your shoulders to the floor will really help you broaden across your chest. And then once you're down here, think about the length of your spine. So that's everything from your tailbone reaching forward to the front of your mat, all the way out through the crown of your head reaching back. So your chin should only be about fist distance from your chest, okay? So finding that length there, arms pressed down, chest nice and open. Close your eyes here for a moment. So closing your eyes really helps to eliminate that sense, right, of vision, which sometimes can be distracting. And closing your eyes can really help you go a little bit more inward to really focus on this mind-body connection. Okay, we're going to begin with our breathing. So just take a moment with eyes closed to notice your breath, right? Not changing it just yet, but only becoming aware of it. Okay. So really feel your inhales and your exhales. Really noticing the way in which it just flows and moves in and out of your body. Notice the space which you're filling up with as you breathe in, right? Where does the breath travel to in your body? And then as you're exhaling, do you empty out completely? Okay. See, in our day-to-day lives, we don't often pay attention to our breath because we don't really need to, right? It's pretty much there for us. So oftentimes with that, the breath can be really short and shallow. So we're going to spend the first few moments on our mat to really focus on deepening of the breath, right? To really become in tune with it. We can use the breath as a tool, right, to help us move through, to help us engage our body. So begin to really now slow your breath down. Really think about taking longer, deeper inhales and very slow, steady exhales. Really make sure that every last drop is being released out of your body. As you breathe in, really allow the ribs to expand outward, filling up your lungs. Then as you exhale, feel the ribs begin to knit back together to midline. Good. Think about taking nice, light, easy breaths in, nice, soft, airy, fill it up. And then on your exhale now, really start to push the air out of your body. A little bit more energy, a little bit more fire, right? Breath in, let the belly rise to fill. And then as you push and squeeze the air out, notice the navel starting to draw downward towards your spine, right? Elimination. And just continue with this breath for just a few more rounds. Notice what happens to your midsection, your core section, as you breathe like this, right? Easy inhales, the abdominal region is relaxed, disengaged, but then when you push that breath out with lots of force, noticing your abdominal muscles beginning to firm, to contract. And this is what we want to look for here, right, in our breathing. And then continue with that to see if you can really start to build up that relationship between your breath and your core. Seeing if you can pull your abs in even deeper with every exhale that you take. We want to focus on kind of building up this pattern of breath now before we start moving, so that when we do add in exercises, this style of breath becomes a little bit more natural for us. And we want to use that breath out to do the work, right? When the most energy is needed, that exhale is really going to help you through. Okay. Take 3 more cycles of breath here. Deep breath in, fill it, and then push the air out. Squeeze. Do a couple more here. Breath in, expansion, open and fill. Contraction as you exhale. Bring it back again to midline. With this last breath, take a nice inhale. When you exhale, firm the belly up and draw the knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug, wrap your arms around your legs. And then in this space, just slowly begin to rock side to side. Just give yourself a little bit of a massage into the back, moving with the tempo of your breath so that quality does not get lost. Good. Then with the side-to-side motion, start to begin to create more of a circular motion here. Use your hands to guide this. This will massage more into the very lower back, right, sacral region of spine, just above the tailbone. Then take a moment to pause and reverse direction, breathing in deeply, exhaling fully. Good. Then go ahead and bring the legs back to still at center. Let's go ahead and keep the right knee drawn in. Hold on with both hands. Stretch your left leg all the way down onto the floor. Gently hug your right leg in closely to your body while actively pulling your shoulders down towards the mat. You're stretching more into your glute lower back region right here. And while holding that right leg in close, draw circles with your right foot just to warm up the ankle. Okay. Take a moment then to reverse direction. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Go ahead, bring that foot into still. Let's take the right arm, extend it out to its side, out to a T, and really plug the back of your right shoulder into the ground. Then with as many breaths as you need, begin to guide your right leg across, up and over the body. And then looking over your right shoulder, you're coming into a spinal twist, right? Getting that rotational movement for your spine, but you may also be able to feel a little stretch forming to the outer hip on that right leg. Keeping that right shoulder plugged in will help to really rotate your upper back, that thoracic spine. Gonna take one more deep breath in here in the twist. Firm up that belly as you exhale and unwind back to center, right? So we're using core strength to protect our spine as we move through. Gently release your right leg, lengthen it out to meet your left, and then we'll switch sides. Draw the left knee in. Both hands hold, and then hug gently into body. Make sure the shoulders aren't straining to your ears, right? Drop them down, right? Find some space and then draw circles with your left foot. Again, just loosening up the ankle. Reverse the direction. Wonderful. Go ahead now, take the foot into still, and the left arm will extend out to its side, right? Plug the shoulder down, and then start to guide your left leg up and over across the body, and then look over your left shoulder. That twist again, right? We look over the shoulder so that the neck also receives rotation, which is the extension of spine. Breathe deeply here. You still want to feel this expansion and contraction of your midsection while you breathe, right? This engagement of the powerhouse. Good. Take one more deep breath in your twist. Exhale, gently unwind back to center. Once you've centered yourself here, then start to bend your knees and ground your feet again, like we had started earlier. We're going to move into stretching out the outer hip and glute region next, okay? Take the right ankle, cross it over your left knee, flex your right foot. Give that some energy so that you can help press the right leg away from body. You can even take your hand to the inside of the thigh to guide it away. Just creates a little bit more space to that outer hip. So this is our figure 4 stretch. Depending upon your body, this may be plenty of stretch for you. You can stay here. Option, you can lift up your left leg, hold it from behind, and gently pull in. That may offer a little bit more intensity. But again, make sure the spine is long, right? Neck is long behind you, shoulders drop down, and you focus on that right outer hip, breathing into it. Okay. And whichever variation of the stretch you're in, just begin to slowly, very slowly, rock side to side. Good. Nice slow movements. And breathe here as you move back and forth. And while you're moving back and forth, I want you just to focus on the sensation of that right hip. How it's changing, how it's kind of shifting depending upon the angle of your body. The intensity may increase or decrease depending upon, and it starts to get into different areas, right? Outer hip, glute region. Wonderful. Begin to then slowly bring yourself back to a centered position and go ahead and release that stretch. We're going to go switch to the other side. So release that. And then take the left ankle, cross it over the right knee. Again, flex foot, energy through heel, and then that will help to press the leg away. Hand there for support if you need. And again, any variation, right foot can stay grounded, right leg can lift, you can hold it, you can gently draw in. What feels right for your body? And then take a moment, right, before you offer movement, just shift your attention to that left hip. Once the attention is there, start that very slow rocking side to side movement. And just feel, right? Just notice. Right? So it's those subtle shifts that can make some change. And just understanding your body a little bit more. And then go ahead and gently come back to center. Let's go ahead and release that stretch. Place both feet back onto your mat again with knees bent. We're going to move next into the hamstrings, backs of legs, and a little bit into our calves as well. So let's take the right leg, extend it all the way up to the sky. Hold on to the back of the right leg with both hands. We're going to first find anchor points. There's 3 of them. Backs of both hips and your tailbone. Root them to the floor and keep them there. Okay. From there, we're going to find next length to the back of the leg. So with hands holding on, feel the leg push into the hands as if you're trying to press your leg towards the front of your mat. Okay, keep that energy of your leg pressing forward, but now we're going to fight that energy by bending the elbows and gently pulling back on the leg using your hands. It's not going to be a huge movement, right? We do not want to lose the length of the leg. So you may start to feel this in the backside. Option to keep your left knee bent and grounded, or foot grounded rather, or you can extend that leg long. It can bring a little bit more intensity to the stretch. Breathe into the backside. Okay. And then as you breathe into that hamstring stretch, we're going to offer more to the calf as well. So still holding the stretch. Now you're going to flex the foot. You can't quite see my butt. Drive your heel to the sky. And then point the toes. Here, I'll move this so you can see a little bit better if you'd like. So flex the foot again. Drive that heel up to the sky. And then point the toes. We'll do that once more. As the heel drives up, you're going to feel it more to the calf. And then go ahead and point the toes. Good. Let's go ahead and relax the foot. Release the leg. Rebend the knee. Ground the foot. We're going to go ahead and switch to the other side. So take that left leg, extend it up nice and long. Hold on with both hands. Okay. First, find your anchor points. Remember the three: backs of hips, tailbone, root them down. When we have an anchor, it creates a deeper stretch. Find length next. So take your left leg, press it into your hands, right? Try to push it forward. And then to get into the stretch itself, bend your elbows gently and pull back lightly, right? So in many stretches, there's a lot of push and pull energy that we're finding, right? So the energy of leg forward, also energy of hands pulling back, and then hold here, breathe here, notice here, the back side of your left leg. Check back in with your anchor points, pressing them down. Wonderful. And then as you hold this stretch, drive the left heel up to sky, like the heel of my hand, right? And then point the toes. We'll do that a couple more times, right? Flexing of the foot. Pointing of the toes. Once more here, heel to sky. Wonderful. Point the toes. Good. We're going to gently relax the foot, release the leg, rebend the knee, ground the foot. So at this point now, you want to have both knees bent, both feet grounded again. Sorry, I keep adjusting, but this is the way it's going to have to be, right? So we're coming up, we're coming down. All right, so we got a little bit of stretch into the lower half of our body. We are going to get into the upper half a little bit later, but for now, I want us to shift to a little bit more focus on firing up our core. Super small, simple movements, but it's a way to really engage a part of our body that doesn't really like to work on its own. It constantly has to be reminded to do its job. So breathing is going to be a good factor, and just very slow, mindful movements is going to be a factor as well. So on your back with knees bent, feet grounded, we're going to move into just simple abdominal curls. So I want you to interlace your fingers and take your hands behind your head. And here we want to have nice, wide elbows here. So on your back, you want to feel the backs of your arms really press into the floor. This is so that the chest stays open. And also, we want to make sure that we're never using our arm strength to lift us off the mat. We really want to focus on the core doing all the work. So take a deep breath in here with everything grounded. As you exhale, slowly begin to peel up the head, neck, and shoulders. Just come up to the tips of your shoulder blades. Look down at your navel and actively pull elbows back. Release back down as you breathe in. Again, exhale, breathe out slow and lift up slow. So you're moving with tempo of breath. Eyes are down to keep the neck long. And then release back to the mat on an inhale. We're just taking 4 more of these. Push the air out. Fine lift. Widen those arms. Release on an inhale. 3 more of these. Exhale, coming up slow. Peel it, peel it, peel it. Good. And then release. 2 more. So when we move slow here, we're eliminating momentum and we're focusing on muscle strength. Release on the inhale. This time, as you exhale, come up to tips of shoulder blades. We're going to stay here. Take a breath in. Just the lifted part on the exhale. Twist it just a little bit to the right. Arms are still wide. Come back through center on an inhale. So this is a very isolated movement. Rotate to your left, other side. And then come back through center. You're going to continue with this, okay? Twist again to the right. Small movement. We're activating our obliques, the waistline. Good. Come back through center. Breathe it all in. Soak it all in. Then squeeze it out as you rotate to your left, keeping the majority of your spine anchored to floor. Let's go ahead. Come back through center. We're going to do 1 more to each side. So again, a very slow, subtle twist to your right, that rotational movement. Come back through center. Make sure it's a big breath in, right? Fill it all the way up. Last one here. Squeeze that breath out as you twist to your left side. Good. Come back through center on that inhale. This time, release head and shoulders down on the exhale. Release the hands. Take your arms back at your sides. Wonderful. So again, remember these movements, super small, super slow, but the idea is that we're really working those muscles to get that subtle movement, okay? We're going to move into some leg extensions next. Again, just another simple exercise to fire up the abdominals. So here we are already on our back, arms at our sides. Go ahead, 1 knee at a time. Draw them into your chest, okay? So some options before we begin with this exercise. Arms can remain at your side. If you're finding you ever want more stability, arms are going to come out to a T. Okay, that just gives a little bit more surface area, more support. If you're wanting heat, more work for this exercise, you can do this with head and shoulders off the mat, hands back behind the head, and elbows wide again. right? So leg extensions, take an inhale. When you exhale, you're going to extend the legs away from the body, nice and long, and then draw the knees back in again on an inhale. Exhale, extending the legs. You can extend them as high as the sky for a little bit more modified version, or as low as hovering for more intensity, or anywhere in between, okay? Draw the knees back in again on an inhale. Go ahead and continue this movement of extension, breathing out nice and slowly. Inhale, drawing it all back in. Good. And as you continue this movement, when you extend your legs out long, make sure your back isn't arching, right? Press your spine into the floor to protect it and to engage the core more. Draw the knees back in slowly on an inhale. Let's do 4 more of these, okay? So exhale, extension again. Head can be lifted here. If it is, try not to let the head drop down when the knees draw back in. So think knees to forehead. 3 more. Push that air out, lengthen out through your toes. Draw the knees back in again on an inhale. We have 2 left to go. Exhale it out. Inhale, fill all the way back up. This last one, exhale, extend the legs and then hold them here. Pull the belly in firm. Breathe steadily. Flutter kick. So you're just going to take tiny little paddles up and down with the legs here for 5. Stabilize. 4. Keep breathing. 3. Good. 2, 1, and release. Draw the knees in, let the head come down if it were lifted. Give yourself a hug here for a moment, right? Give your body a little hug and a little movement side to side. Just give yourself recovery, yeah? So there's always going to be balance of effort and ease in the work that we do here, okay? Good. Wonderful. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring ourselves back into still if we did offer some movement there. We're going to move into next one of my most favorite exercises. I put them in all of my classes. I think it's just a really great exercise to really focus on not only strengthening the core, but it gives us a really deep, deep, juicy back body stretch. So everywhere, excuse me, from the backs of the heels all the way out through the crown of the head, you're going to get a nice good stretch. And sorry, I'm like scrunching in here trying to fit into the screen. All right, we're going to go into what's called the roll-up. I am going to offer, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the roll-up, the first couple I'm going to offer a modified version. So, right, this workout and this exercise can be for anybody at any level. If you are very familiar with the roll-up and you just want to do your version of, totally go ahead and do it, right? But we will slowly build up. So I'll offer modified, I'll offer kind of the classic, and then I'll also offer some advancements that we can do. So let's go ahead. We're going to start on our back completely. So legs should be long. So you want to feel as if you're trying to find mountain pose, which is a yogic posture, right? It's usually a standing one, but we can still create and find the same energy on our back. So on your back, legs are long. Push your heels away from your body. Lift your toes to the sky as if you were standing on the ground, right? And then make sure that the inner edges of your feet are in parallel, which will let the legs kind of roll and hug into midline to center on your back there. So those legs are engaged already. We want them to continue to stay that way in this exercise. Your legs are really important. They are going to become an anchor point for you, which will help you to lift your body and lower your body in this exercise, okay? So legs are strong. From here, take your arms. You're going to reach them up and overhead to the back of your mat. Okay, you want your palms to face each other. You also want your hands a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. That will create, again, some space so that you can, from there, physically slide your shoulder blades down your back, okay? Usually when our arms are overhead like this, we tend to arch our back. So also here, press the middle of your spine into the floor. Feel the ribs then sealing in. Also, you're going to feel and notice your belly firming up just to be in this space. Okay? So I just want you to feel this energy in the body just lying on your back. Okay? So if you're used to doing the roll-ups, you can certainly keep your legs long here. I'm going to start modified though. So from this lengthened space, I want you to keep your arms overhead, but I want you to bend your knees and ground your feet for the modified version, okay? And I'll do it here as well. Modified for the roll-up, okay? You're going to take an inhale to begin lifting yourself, the arms, the head, and the shoulders. As you inhale, pull the arms forward, grab the backs of your legs. Exhale, use your hands to help pull you up. Come all the way up to seated. Once you've sat up, then take your legs long, sit up tall, Take the arms, reach them up and overhead. Take a breath in and get more length to spine. Reach the crown of the head high. Then as you exhale, you're going to fold forward over your legs. This is where the back body stretch comes into play. So you want your head gently falling through your arms, but you want your arms elevated parallel to your legs. Feet are still flexed. You're still pushing up through your heels. Take your shoulders, which generally tend to scrunch up to the ears. You want to plug them down. Good. Back body stretch here. All right, with your next inhale, come all the way back up to seated. Restack one vertebra at a time. And then as you exhale, you're going to tuck your tailbone under, rounding your spine, and slowly roll back to your mat. Use control, push out through your heels, and then rest back onto the floor. We'll do modified once more. So knees bent, feet grounded. Breath in, start your lift, grab behind the legs. When it gets hard, push the breath out and pull all the way up. Stack and sit tall. Extend the legs out in front of you. Reach high with your next breath in. Fold slowly forward. Let the head go, let the shoulders drop, but keep arms elevated and feet flexed. Stack it back up as you breathe it in. Round, scoop out the core, drive heels away from body, roll back down to your mat. Reconnect again, one vertebra at a time, okay? So you can continue to stay with that modified version. We're gonna do about 4 more of these, okay? You have the option to extend the legs long if you wanna give that a whirl. Think of your legs as an anchor, even if they don't ground down completely. They might float up, still feel the energy rooting to the earth, okay? We're gonna do 4 more. So start the lift on an inhale, give your body prep, and then exhale, push all that air out. Rolls up slow to stack. Take a pause here to sit up even taller for a breath in, and that fold forward as you breathe out. Let's take it back up on an inhale. Let's roll it down slow on the exhale. 3 more of these. Breath in, begin your movement. Exhale, lots of power to come all the way up. Push the legs down, lift your heart high. Hold there for more length as you inhale. Fold slowly as you exhale. Feel that stretch again. Back of the heels all the way up through the crown of the head. Come up tall with your next breath in. Roll down slower than you'd like to as you breathe out. And you may have to take more than 1 round of breath to get back to that space, but it's control. Okay. Once you're down here, let's pause. I'm going to offer for the last 2, an advanced version of the roll up. Essentially, you would be doing kind of like arms free. So if you want an advancement, you're going to take one hand stack on top of the other and place both hands to your forehead, palms facing the sky. You want to keep your hands glued to your forehead. You also want to make sure the elbows stay out wide throughout. This is going to make it way more challenging for the abs. But the same breath and movement continues. Inhale, the lift starts. As soon as you feel it get hard, push that breath out. Lift, 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 lift. Stay tall, breathe it in. And then that fold on the exhale. Lift it up as you inhale. Round and roll it down. Pull the elbows back if your hands are on your forehead. And we'll do 1 more roll up here, guys. Any variation that you'd like. Start the movement though. Prep it. Inhale. Push it out. Do the work. Exhale. Come up slow. Stack. Breathe it in. Get long. Fold slow. Deep on the exhale. Okay. Let's go ahead and on inhale. Come all the way back up to seated, but stay seated. On your exhale, go ahead and take your arms out to a T here. So if your knees have been bent, go ahead and lengthen them out, but you can still keep a soft bend in your knees if you're finding that bothers hip flexors or lower back to have the legs fully extended. We're gonna move into spine twist. Again, it's a very small controlled movement. We wanna make sure our legs don't slide and shift, that our hips stay anchored, and it's a focus again to the obliques. So with arms stretched out to a T, spread out your fingers and feel your fingertips reach from wall to wall, okay? And then from behind you, hug lightly between your shoulder blades as if you're trying to hold a lemon there. Not crush it into lemonade, but lightly squeeze it, okay? That's an activation of your upper back, which also helps with a nice seated posture. Pull the lower belly in and up, staying here in this teed position. Take a breath in, fill it up. And then a small twist over to your right as you exhale. Let your eyes follow, keep them at the horizon. Come back through center, breathe it in. Grow taller as you twist over to your left side. Squeeze out and feel again those waistline muscles activate. Come back through center. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more to each side. And then as you rotate to your right, feel the left arm gently pull back. right? Want to keep that nice straight line with the arms. Come through center as you breathe in. Take it to your left again, squeeze it out. Taller as you twist. Imagine a string at the crown of your head pulling you to sky. Let's come back through center. One last time, each side. Exhale, ring it out. Ring it, ring it, ring it. Keep those legs steady, 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 and still. Come back through center on an inhale. One last time here. Exhale, push that air out, rotate and grow taller. Good. Come back through center. Let's stay here centered. Pull that belly in firm. Let's draw some circles with the arms. You should feel this in your shoulders and upper back, using your core to stabilize everything else. Steady breath. 3, 2, 1. Pause it here. Reverse direction. Inhale, exhale for 5. Good. 4. Slow it down. 3, 2, 1. Good. Slowly float the arms down and just melt forward over your legs. Let the feet relax, head relax, and then arms just relax at your sides. Take a moment to rest. Yeah. Good. All right, from this space, go ahead and slowly roll yourself back up to seated, all right? From here, we're gonna transition to tabletop. So we're gonna come onto our hands and knees. Once you come onto your hands and knees, you wanna spread your fingers out wide, right? Support your wrists. And then even lightly kind of gripping the ground with your fingertips will also help with that support. When we get into tabletop position, right, knees underneath the hips, sometimes we find ourselves just kind of sinking right into our body. We want to do the opposite. We want to lift. So with those fingers spread, push away from the floor, right? Lift and rise out of the arms. You're activating your chest muscles. Rather than looking straight down between your hands, try to look just past the front of your mat. That's going to really lengthen your body forward and keep that spine really long, okay? Pull the lower belly in and up here. All right, we're gonna work on some balance movement and core strength. So in your tabletop, take a breath in, fill up. And then as you exhale, extend right arm forward, left leg back behind you. Hold that space, breathe it in. And then on the exhale, release the hand and release the knee. Come back. And make sure that when you come back, you haven't really shifted much from your center. Right? We'll do that again. Take another breath in, prepare. This time, exhale, left arm forward and right leg back. Push that right heel away from body. Hold space, send the heart forward, right? And then on the exhale, release hand, release knee back to the mat. We're going to add to this now, okay? Breathing pattern is going to change. We're going to start back with right arm, left leg. Go ahead. Breathe in, extend forward and back, all right, with arm and leg. This time on the exhale, pull the elbow and knee together underneath you. Round your back, coil into a ball. Then extend out again on an inhale. Send the heart forward, lengthen. Exhale again, pulling in, but also up, 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 up. Good. Extend again, lengthen the body back out. We'll do one more here on this side. Exhale, coil in and up. Use your core strength to get that arm and leg in close. Let's take one more extension on the inhale. Let's go ahead and release the hand, release the knee back down. Exhale, back to your tabletop form. Okay, we're going to do that on the other side. So breath in, left arm forward and right leg back. Keep your center. Exhale, pull everything in, up, round, and coil. Expand again, lengthen again on an inhale. Find that reach in opposite directions. And again, pulling in and up, exhale. Once more, extend, heart reaching to the front of your mat. Exhale, in, up. Good, take one more expansion, one more. And then back to tabletop. Grounding in. Good. From this space, take the right arm, sweep it out to the side, reach it up to the sky, look up to your hand, open your chest. Take that right arm as you breathe out, thread it underneath, start stretching across the floor, look to your left, and then lower down onto that arm, okay? Resting your cheek or ear to the mat. We're getting a little stretch into the back of the shoulder, a little bit into your upper back here. Good. Let's stay here. Take one more breath in. Exhale, bring it back, unwind to tabletop form. We'll do the other side. Left arm, sweep it out and up on an inhale. And then thread that arm underneath you. We're going to stretch it across the floor, look to your right, and then gently, slowly rest your weight down onto that arm. Keep that arm active so your fingers are still spread. They're still trying to reach as far across the floor as it can. It gets more stretch to the back side of the arm. Good. Stay here for one more breath in. And then exhale, go ahead, unwind your body, come back to tabletop form, right? Coming back to hands and knees. From your hands and knees, we'll find child's pose. So widen your knees, towel, mat, blanket width apart, big toes touch. Sit back to your heels. Start to kind of fold over the legs as you walk your hands forward to the front of your mat. And then rest forehead towards the floor, okay? Fingers are still spread out wide here. We generally tend to narrow our hands at the top of our mat, so make sure your hands are still shoulder width apart. Think of your hands like starfish, right? Suction them down to the ground, right? And then lift the arms off the floor, right? Forearms come up. Energy, right? Energy in the body. And then slide your shoulder blades down your back, space. Pull your lower belly up and away from the thighs. They may not separate actually completely, but the idea of, right, this engagement of core. Okay, so you're in your child's pose. From this space, arms long, you're going to tuck your toes under and you're going to begin to lift yourself up into a downward facing dog. So your hips are going to lift up to the sky. And in this space, you want to actively push your chest back towards your thighs. That's going to draw your shoulders away from your wrists rather to support them. Maybe a little bend in your knees to keep your sits bones up. Pull your belly in, so feel the ribs try to seal towards your spine. And then although the heels may not touch here, think of the heels energetically rooting towards the earth, okay? Downward facing dog, dog, dog. Here we go, guys. Here is some movement, some flow. Take a breath in, look to the front of your mat. As you exhale, walk your feet to your hands with as many or as little a step as you'd like to take. We're coming into a forward fold. Good. Take a halfway lift on an inhale. So shoulders are going to drop to hip level and then open across your chest. Fold it out again on the exhale, melt and drape back over your thighs. We're going to do that a couple more times. Breath in, halfway lift. So heart is forward, sits bones are back, and hug that lemon again right between shoulder blades. Fold it down as you exhale, melt once more. Last time, inhale, halfway lift. We're going to hold this space now. Hold this space, okay? Take the arms and stretch them back behind you. Keep the arms in line with your side body. So fingertips energetically reach to the back, heart stretches forward. Pull your core in here. Tighten up your abs to support your back. And bend the knees if needed to also be here in this space, right? Holding this requires effort. Breath. 3, 2, 1, good. With your next inhale, ground your feet, rise all the way up to standing. Reach your arms overhead. On your exhale, take the arms, bring them out to T. So we did spine twist earlier. We're going to do this again in a standing fashion. You want your hip heads to always point forward here. Breath in, prepare. Exhale, a rotation to your right, but keep your right hip head pressed forward. Come back through center as you inhale. Twisting to your left on the exhale, left hip presses forward. Good. Take a breath in, come through center, reach the arms up overhead, dive and fold over the legs as you exhale. Good. That halfway lift again on an inhale. This time, plank position on the exhale. Take your hands to the ground and step back to the top of a push-up, right? You have the option to come down to your knees for a modified variation of your plank, but we're going to hold this space, okay? Holding plank requires work. The whole body should be engaged here. So in your plank, you are going to feel the legs hug to midline. Yeah, we're holding it. We're breathing here. You're going to squeeze your glutes firm. Imagine you have a penny there. Pinch it, pinch it. Yeah. Feel your thighs and your hips try to pull away from the ground, not sinking down into, rather drawing upward. Then you're going to feel your lower abs engage in that space. Okay. Notice if you sunk into the arms, right? Pushing out of them. So take the space between your shoulder blades. Punch it, punch it, punch it up to the sky. Look slightly forward rather than straight down. And here you are, right? Legs, glutes, abs, chest muscles, arm muscles. Soften your elbows. Don't lock them out. Take one more breath in here in your plank. And then as you exhale, slowly bring yourself to the mat with arms hugged into your sides. You can come to knees first to get there. And once you've lowered all the way down, untuck your toes. Extend your arms out long in front of you. I'm going to pause here for a moment. So everything is grounded. Arms, forehead, chest, legs, feet. With an inhale, lift everything off the mat. Your arms, your head, your heart, your legs. And bring it back down as you exhale. We're strengthening now into our back body, right? Again, breath in, slowly lift everything up. Do not push your chin forward, so still look downward at the floor. Release on the exhale. So this is shoulder work, upper, middle, lower back, and glutes. We'll do 2 more of these. Breath in, slowly float up. So we're, again, not using momentum here. Exhale, bring it back down. This last one, let's go ahead and lift it, lift it, lift it. Hold this space, right? Really firm up the legs and the arms. We're going to move into what's called swimming in this space. So with lifted, begin to paddle arms and legs, alternately moving, stabilizing your center. So head is steady, core is steady, breath is big and full. Keep paddling, keep breathing, keep lifting your heart up for 5, 4, good. 3, keep it going. 2, wonderful. 1, good. Rest. Take a moment to press yourself back into a child's pose position, getting a little stretch to what we just worked out, the back body. From our child's pose, let's go ahead, transition back into downward facing dog. So fingers spread, let's tuck the toes, lift the hips, push the chest back, seal the ribs in, look between the toes. Yeah. Take your right leg as you breathe in and lift it behind you, just to hip level. And then as you exhale, step your right foot up towards your right thumb. You can physically pick the foot up to get to that space. Release then the left knee down to the ground and untuck the toes. Okay, go ahead, breathe in and bring yourself up. Stack shoulders over hips. Lift your arms to the sky. And then as you exhale, draw the arms out directly in front of you. So here we are in this kneeling lunge position. Arms are out in front of us. Let's go ahead and create a little, well, not a little, a big, right? A big circle with the arms. So kind of sweep your elbows out to the sides and just have the very tips of your middle fingers lightly connecting. Shoulder heads are down away from your ears. This is called hugging the tree. It's a Pilates move. We're going to implement it into our yoga low lunge. So on an inhale, we're going to keep the shape of our arms and just open them out. Hug between the shoulder blades. And then exhale as if you're hugging a big old tree. Squeeze it out and reconnect just the very tips of your middle fingers. We'll do that a couple more times. So breath in, opening the arms, hugging between shoulder blades. So now we're activating back body. Exhale, squeeze it out. So engage your pectoral muscles, your chest. Good. Once more, opening up the arms, breathe it in. Squeeze it out on the exhale. Good. Take the arms, reach them up overhead as you breathe in. Take your hands down, frame your front foot as you breathe out. Back toes are going to curl, knees going to lift. Now you're in a low lunge still, but a lifted one of the back leg, yeah? Go ahead, take that back foot, step it up to meet the front foot. You're coming into forward fold. Wonderful. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Chair position now on the exhale. So your knees are going to bend. You're going to push your hips towards the back of your mat, but lift your heart high, okay? In your chair, arms can be extended. They can be. If this bothers your neck or shoulders, you can take your arms directly out in front of you. If that still feels like it's a little much, hands to heart center, okay? So you want to have the weight in your heels. You want the knees pulling away from your toes, okay? Feel the knees lightly press out, lightly. This is to activate your outer hip muscles. But imagine though at the same time, if you had a little ball between your inner thighs, right, you're squeezing here as well. So out and in. Hips are back, 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 okay? Take the arms now down along your sides. Stiffen up the arms. Firm them up. Okay? Hug between the shoulder blades. We're going to start to pump those arms back. Okay? Try to pump the arms back, but keep everything else steady. Core work. Breathe in for 4. Breathe out for 4. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Twice more. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4. On an inhale, ground your feet, rise, lift, arms overhead. As you exhale, interlace fingers, take your hands behind the head. Side body work. On an inhale, we're going to stretch over to the left side. Good. From the belly, exhale, slowly stack it back up. Again, use strictly muscle strength to do the work. Stretch over to your right as you breathe it in, right? Stretching it out and then firming up. Slowly pull yourself back up. Stack. Good. On an inhale, release the hands, extend the arms up. Fold as you exhale over the legs. Hit a halfway lift on an inhale. Plank position again on your exhale. So take the hands down and either step or hop back to form. Here we are, top of a push-up. Super small movement here. We're going to work the glutes. We're going to work the abs. Take a breath in. As you exhale, right foot, just lift it a little bit off the ground. Send the heart forward, send the heart forward, send the heart forward. Then release the foot down on an inhale. Left foot exhale is going to lift. Squeeze that glute. Release. You can do this on the knees as well. Do one more to each side. So if on the knees, exhale, just the right leg will stretch back behind and find that lift. Good. Foot or knee comes back down on an inhale. Other side, left leg. Lift, stretch the heart forward. Good. Release to plank on an inhale, either feet or knees. And then lower the whole body down slow. Good. Extend the arms forward. Take an inhale to lift everything off the mat. Arms, forehead, heart, legs. Hold it here. Breathe it here. Steady it here. Good. We're going to move back into that swing. So again, those stiff arms, stiff legs, paddling up and down. Make sure the head isn't shifting. The torso isn't shifting. Steady breathing. It's going to fire up the body for 5. Good. 4. Keep paddling. 3. Arms and legs. 2. Firm that belly. 1. Good. Release everything down. Press back into a child's pose. Maybe the arms rest along your sides this time. All right. For a release. Release of shoulders, release of the back body, which we just worked out. Wonderful. All right, let's go ahead and stretch those arms out in front if they're not there already. Spread out those fingers, right? Support the body. Tuck your toes under. Come back into downward facing dog. Hips to sky, chest back towards thighs. Heels anchoring towards the earth, ribs sealing in. Head relaxed. Left leg is going to lift behind you just to hip level. Step up and through towards left thumb. And again, you can physically pick the foot up to get there. Release the right knee to the ground. Untuck the toes. Rise and stack up, shoulders over hips, arms to sky. This time we're going to take, pointer and middle fingers. Connect them above us. Bring our hands to our forehead. So we're going to move into what's called salutes. And again, a yogic kneeling low lunge. So in this space, I want you to lean forward just slightly over that left thigh. So it's a little lean, but we're still long in the torso. Hands are still on the forehead with pointers and thumbs connected. Sorry, I have to keep adjusting my screen here. So with this lean forward, we're not looking straight down at the ground, nor are we looking straight ahead. We're kind of just looking off. Okay? So when we do our salutes, our arms are going to be the extension of our spine. Okay? So take a breath in. Exhale. Extend the arms outward, upward. Keep the pointers and thumbs connected. Draw the hands back to your forehead on an inhale. Okay? Saluting away from body, exhaling outward, upward. Think about like the top corner of your room reaching towards, yeah? And then pull the hands back to forehead on an inhale. We're still hovered over that left thigh. We're going to do 2 more of these. Extension away. Draw it back in on an inhale. This last one, extend outward, upward. Good. Breath in, reconnect hands to forehead as you restack shoulders over hips. As you exhale, take your hands down, frame your front foot. Good, back toes curl. Knee comes up in a lifted low lunge. Good, take a step up, come into your forward fold. Wonderful, halfway lift on an inhale. Come back to your chair position on the exhale. So again, we're bending the knees, pushing the hips back, sending the heart up. Arms, any variation, extended upward, directly in front, or hands to heart center. We are going to be working legs here. Glutes, hamstrings, quads, calves. So we don't want the upper body to lift or lower any. We don't want to do this. We want the legs to pull up closer to our torso, okay? So in your chair, firm your core, protect your back. Take your heels, slowly lift them over the balls of your feet. Notice my legs pulled up a little bit closer, and then release the heels back down. I'm going to put this down so you can see feet if you need to, right? So heels come up, and then heels release. This is going to work a little bit of balance here as well. We're going to do 2 more of these. Heels slowly pop over balls of feet, heart still lifting the sky. Release the heels, okay? This last one, still in your chair, lift up your heels. Keep the heels up. Start to pulse it down, down, down. Good. For 5, 4, 3, burning 2, 1. Good. Heels down, legs straighten, melt, fold over your legs. Good. Stay here in this forward fold. We're just going to come into ragdoll for a moment. So take your feet out maybe slightly wider than shoulder width. Grab your elbows with opposite hands. Become really heavy in your upper body. Really hang here, yeah? So letting gravity take hold. Shoulders, the only time where it's really good for them to be to your ears is when they're falling there, right? Falling to your ears. Maybe there's a deep bend in your knees. You could sway very gently side to side here or remain in stillness. But take a moment. So this weight, right, this gravity of the upper body over the legs is going to give you a pull and stretch to the backside again. Just take a moment here, right? Pause. Slow down, recover, rest. Wonderful. And then if you were in movement, gently come back into still. Gently release your elbows, fingertips to the earth. Okay. Start to heel toe the feet back into just about hip width apart. Take a halfway lift on a breath in. Let's lower down to seated again on the breath out. So coming down to seated, we want to have the knees bent, feet grounded out in front of us. We're going to clasp our hands behind the knees. Pull your belly up into your thighs, and that's just going to help you sit nice and upright. All right, here we are, pulling, pulling, pulling up. Good, so belly's in firm, upper back, right? Again, that lemon between the shoulder blades. So 2 main areas that help us maintain an upright posture when we're sitting is our upper back and our core. So once those 2 are fired up, you can then release your hands. Extend your arms out in front of you. Hands a little wider than shoulder width, again, to keep your chest opened, right? If we have the hands narrow, there's a greater chance of our chest caving in. So here we are, nice good posture. Take a breath in, see if we can sit up a little bit taller here. And then as you exhale, you're going to tuck your tailbone under, right? And you're going to roll down just an inch to a few inches, nothing huge. So C curve with the spine. Let's take a breath in here, fill it back up. Use your core strength on the exhale to bring yourself back up to that tall seated position. Again, more length upward on the inhale. Rounding spine, scooping core, rolling down. Make sure the toes still stay glued to the floor. Gonna take a breath in here. Exhale back up. Find the lift. We're gonna do 1 more of these. Breath in, lengthen, lengthen. Round and roll back on the exhale. Stay here in this rolled back C-curve position. Shoulders drop away from the ears. Chest is open and also lifted. Belly in. Take a breath in with arms extended out in front of you. Take a twist over to your right as you exhale. Okay. Come back through center. Inhale. So upper body moves, legs stay still. Twist to your right. Again, we're working our waistline. Good. Come back through center on an inhale. We're going to do 1 more of these to each side. Rotation, but legs stay as they are, right? Centered, firm. Come back through center. Breathe it in. Once more to the left. Squeeze it out. Twist. Good. Come back through center. Let's stay here, okay? With your next exhale, slowly begin to lift the arms upward. They may not get there completely, and that's okay. Draw the arms out in front of you again. So the idea here is the arms are going to move, right? Notice the arms are lifting, but I don't want my chest to pull up any higher. I'm staying as I am with the rest of my body. Come back through center on an inhale. So it's harder as the arms begin to lift for your core to stabilize here. 2 more. Slowly take the lift, right? We don't want to move quick. We want to be able to focus and engage and stabilize. Bring the arms out in front of you on an inhale. One last time. Exhale. Start to lift the arms up. Breathe here. Hold here for 5, 4. Good. 3. Almost there. 2. 1. Good. Inhale. Sit up tall. As you exhale, take a melt forward over your legs. Recovery here. All right, go ahead, roll slowly back up to seated. Once you're here, lengthen your legs all the way down onto your mat, right? Push your heels away, lift your toes to the sky. Extend the arms out nice and long again in front of you. Sitting up nice and tall, take a breath in. On your exhale, tuck your tailbone under, roll down just a notch. We're gonna go in little increments here, so we're gonna work our way back down to the floor. Good. Come back a little bit further, very slowly. Think about 1 vertebra at a time, reconnecting to mat. So this idea of spinal articulation. Come back a little bit further. Keep driving those heels away from your body. Keep anchoring your legs down. Hands wide, shoulders away from ears. Come back a little bit further. Make sure the chin is neutral, that it's not diving into your chest. Breathe here. Fired up here, right? We need our core to support us. Come back just a little bit further. Good. Maybe you're shaking a little bit, and that's okay. Muscles are working. Come back a little bit further. Big breaths, steady ones, strong ones. Wonderful. Come back a little bit further. We're just going to hold this space. Good. For 5, 4. Keep it breathing. 3. Good. 2, 1. Good. Slowly release it all down. Let everything go. Relax, release. Okay, so we're on our back here. Feel the feet now become heavy, right? Just splay naturally out to your sides. With the arms resting down, palms faced up. Again, let those shoulders roll open. Maybe even the arms angle slightly out to about 45 degrees. That can also help that openness. Close the eyes. Feel the natural curl in your fingers here. Let go, right? Slightly part your teeth. Unhinge your jaw. If your tongue is pressed up to the roof of your mouth, you're going to go ahead and let that drop down as well. We're taking a moment here. I like to call this a lightning shavasana, right? Because since this is a blended class of yoga and Pilates, there's no such thing as shavasana and Pilates, right? But there is in yoga. So we're going to do just a few minutes of stillness, finding our breath again. So come back to your inhales, your exhales. Notice maybe the difference between how your breath is now versus how it was at the beginning of class. Notice how your body feels in comparison to when you first started this morning or this afternoon. Right? Any sensations, pulsations, twitching, warmth. Just become aware. Connect. Breathe. As you lay here in stillness with your breath, I just want to briefly say thank you. Thank you guys, everyone who came on this morning or afternoon to participate or to watch or to listen, or, however it is, whether it was for the first few minutes or for the entire class. But really appreciating the support, and I'm really loving the fact that I'm able to share my passion and my practice with you guys as well. So from here, slowly take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. This moment of connection to self, right? Feel the beating of the heart, the movement of belly up and down due to your own breath. And then in this space of connection, just thank yourself that you came here, that you showed up to your mat, to your practice, but really most importantly, that you showed up to yourself. We are given one body. Really important that we always honor, listen, respect it, and that we always and forever keep it moving. Take both hands now together at heart center. You can stay lying down here if you can choose to rock up to seated, but keep the eyes closed. It's been my pleasure, and I look forward to future classes with everyone. Enjoy the life that we have, even in these darkest of days. There will always be light. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste.